Do you like that applause, Mark? Do you like that?
Lovely.
I was on with the Scots last night, and they just turned around and they said, "Oh yes, just typical. We would expect that of AbFab." Right, Mark? Well, this is your show today. You've got some beefs to get off your chest about what's going on. I mean, we're living in a climate which is bad news, and I mean bad news. All sorts of prices are going up through the country, and I don't think anybody's happy. I think the unhappiest person, and she's in Europe, is Marine Le Pen.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of that? Let's bring him on. Let's show this lovely face of this man they call Stats. By the way, I have to say, okay, that the English correspondents are better than the Scottish. I know when they see this, they're going to go, "You said we were better than the English ones."
Who gets more views, eh? It's neck and neck at the minute.
It is. Right, Mark, okay. This is your call, sir. Get it off your chest. Tell us what it's all about.
Yes, it's a pattern. And we've been dealing with this for a number of years now, haven't we? It's the suppression of political opponents. And it's not just at a national level, it's at a local level as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a couple of councillors on who've been talking about their treatment. They use the police, don't they, and the treatment from the council. So anyone who's seen them will know. But today I want to talk about the way they use the media to attack their opponents. Now, we've all had a little... Go on.
Are we talking in this area of the local democracy reporters?
Well, I don't know who he is, but we'll get to that. But
I want to get to those people. I'm telling you, Mark, we need to get them in a corner and start asking them some very searching questions.
We do.
Go ahead.
Well, look, we've seen this before. I mean, it happened to Trevor, didn't it? When he stood for reform last year in the elections, there was that little weasel from the Mirror I'll have to say it was the poorest hit job, which we shot down in a matter of hours. It didn't really get any traction, and no one believed it. So I think they're getting worse at it, to be honest.
And then one of the best PR representatives in the area, Notes Press and PR, stepped in and told the national publication exactly where to get off. And
and then we destroyed it, didn't we?
We destroyed it, absolutely, so
trying to tie him to what the flipping Ku Klux Klan. It was pretty bad.
Well, I tell you, and also, isn't it good to have a woman on your side fighting for you?
Always
very vicious, these women, especially at Notes Press and PR. They don't take any crap from anybody. So let that be known to Cheshire West and Chester. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, it happened to me as well. 2019, when I stood in an election, I was called by the local Cheshire Live, which is our local rag, as you call it. Basically, called me far right. I asked for a right of reply. I was ignored. I noticed all the other parties had managed to get their policies and manifestos in the paper.
Yeah.
So I asked for my chance and was totally refused. I explained to them how the majority of my policies on my flyer were the same as the other parties. Yeah, I was far right. And I asked them to explain. I sent them our manifesto and asked them to explain themselves, and they wouldn't. So they wouldn't give me the right to reply. So they smeared my name, basically.
Yeah, is that as far as these local democracy reporters are concerned, as far as I'm concerned, I actually I don't know whether they're journalists imitating tossers or tossers imitating journalists. I can't work it out.
I don't know. In my case, it was David Holmes. He was the chief.
Oh, that guy.
He wouldn't communicate. And then he went to the extreme of when we had the election count of just literally deleting me from all the footage of the whole election count. Whereas everybody got to celebrate their election win on video, apart from the girl who beat me, because he couldn't put me on a video.
I don't know whether
I made it difficult for him, but he's not there anymore. But they're still up to their old tricks.
I don't even know whether that guy actually, bathes regularly, because every time I've been with him, that guy stinks. And if he says anything, I'd say, I'm telling the truth, he stinks. I didn't like standing next to him. Is he not?
No.
I don't give a crap about that guy. Hey, David, you stink. Get a bath.
Well, yeah, so it's Cheshire Live strikes again, but this time it's local councillor Mandy Clare. She's a friend of Cheshire Matters.
Yes, she is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a local councillor, and they've done another poor attempt at a hit piece. Now, for those who don't know, Mandy, she's one of the top campaigners for women's rights and child safeguarding.
She is. She is indeed. Yeah.
With the whole trans and the gender ideology issue. Let's just say she's been rattling a few cages recently. She's been exposing some stuff at Pride. She's been holding local officials to account who are seriously lacking on the safeguarding issue. And she recently joined Reform. So this is probably why this has all been, in my opinion, coordinated.
Well, joining Reform, they'll be worried because they know that Reform is actually gaining ground in local elections.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not here to discuss why Mandy joined Reform. She's made her views clear. I'm not going to speak for her, but I know she's.
But everybody's entitled to do what they want to do and follow whatever path they need to follow. It's as simple as that.
She's got the best interests of the kids and people of Cheshire at heart.
That's the fundamental point.
And she knows that Reform are the only party at the minute with any sway and the only ones who've actually got ending this as their policy. But what I will say is she's come from the left, so she's taken a bit of heat from all sides here, which I think's unfair. I think these anonymous accounts and some of the actual commentators online and YouTube and stuff really should stop getting the knickers in a knot about the party she stood with. Maybe actually look at the present and pay attention to what she's actually doing now, because it's far more than they're actually doing. I would have actually thought maybe think deeper, do some more research, especially these commentators online. But anyway, we'll move on to this hit piece. Now, in my opinion, they've gathered all these people together. It's coordinated. So they're going to come together to tell all their horrific stories of how gay people and trans people are being attacked and killing themselves. And of course, it's all Mandy's fault. I think these people, they don't understand the complexity, John, and the seriousness of this situation. They just want to boil it down to someone's oppressed and they'll blame that on whoever this hit piece is aimed at on whatever day it is, because they can't justify their stance on this. So this is serious, John. This is despicable behaviour. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
The thing is, we're going to go through it and it never makes sense. So as I said, Mandy's concerns. So I've got some notes on the screen. I've got the article.
Is that why you're looking like the bohemian artist, looking into the distance? So
bear with me, because I can't get that article on my phone, because you know what these local rags like. They're absolute trash. There's just constant stuff pops up when you can't read them, so I've had to make some notes on it instead. So that's I say, Mandy's main concern is women's rights and child safety, especially surrounding the trans issue and the gender identity,
which is an honourable. It is an honourable thing to do, because very few people actually put their heads above the parapet to do that, Mark.
Exactly. But what Cheshire Live have done is they've gone with they've decided to roll with the homophobic smear rather than deal with the actual things that Mandy's actually raising. So
maybe those local democracy reporters are homosexuals and they disagree with it. I mean, maybe we should ask those questions. Just say, are you a homosexual? Is this something that you fundamentally disagree with on these views? Blah, 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 blah.
It's either, in my opinion, John, they either don't understand or they're being deceitful. And another thing is what they've done is they've lumped, it left, their trick with language. They've lumped all these letters together. And if you criticise or have an issue with one section of that, it's all of them, isn't it? It's got to be, even though some of them are sexual preferences and some of them are just made up stuff that change from day to day. So the problem is that some of these articles are that bad if their logic's akin to a toddler. So I'm going to go through some of the examples.
Go ahead.
So we'll look at the headlines. It says a controversial Reform councillor has been slammed for posting alleged homophobic comments. Now, there you go again. Controversial. Well, it's only controversial if you support this mass experiment on children. Slammed by who? Whoever these people have got together to make up this stuff in this.
Oh, some of them are so full of shit. It's unbelievable. They just try to lump it in to make people believe that people are against it. The truth of the matter is that most people, and if you look at the percentages, they're normal in terms of their sexual orientation, if you want to call it normal. Okay, that's the the appellation that I would give it. There's male and there's female. And what else is there in between? If you're a homosexual, great, fine. Okay, you don't need to be shoving it down everybody's throat, quite literally. And in any other respect, that's it. But they've gone a little bit too far, and I understand. But the majority of people in this country are heterosexual. Get used to it, right? You're a minority. Shut the up.
We'll
Had enough of you. Go ahead.
Because some of this is now. So obviously she's accused of brandishing pride events. Hideous. Well, I'm sorry if this kink there aimed at children. What would you call that? I mean, look at some of the examples from. I know it's not in this country, but San Francisco.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff going on there was hideous. So we'll have a look at this alleged homophobia. Oh, here we go. So yes, she has criticised some gay people.
Yeah.
But for the dumb lefties, I'm going to explain what she actually meant. So, according to Cheshire Live, the original caption to the photo on Facebook was this: "The revolting spectacle of gay people stood beneath the flag that promotes gay conversion therapy." Now, she wasn't calling all gay people revolting.
Because they're not revolting. A lot of gay people they're just normal in so many respects.
She meant those that are promoting gender identity while being gay have got a conflict of interest, or, in my opinion, cognitive dissonance. It was the spectacle of them stood there, which is self-explanatory to anyone who can actually read.
Yeah.
But here we are. So it's clearly not homophobic. In fact, quite the opposite, because many children who normally turn out to be gay are being told they're trapped in the wrong body, but they're being pushed down a route where there's no clinical data to back it up and no way of reversing it.
And they're being educated in the schools about that.
So we've got a little video to play where a lesbian actually explains some of this and a lot more. But I thought let's listen to what she has to say.
Here we go.
We'll just break this up a little bit.
This is a message from an OG lesbian. The acronym LGBTQ+ is not a representation of a united community, but the strategic force teaming of the LGB with the TQ+ that serves a dark agenda to rebrand sexual fetishes and disorders as sexual orientations. For what was once a legitimate civil rights movement, gay rights, has been hijacked, quite literally, by the TQ+ and used as a Trojan horse to mainstream their degeneracy. First, we have the
Wow, did you hear what she said? To mainstream their degeneracy. This is a lesbian. See, this is what I mean. I don't have a problem with these people. I'll let her carry on, but what she's saying. But the TQ+, they're talking about degeneracy. And she's just said it straight out. Here we go.
Teas, the trans cult, who want to sterilise children with puberty blockers, turn all homosexuals into surgical simulations of straight people, and destroy women's rights to enable men's fetishes. Then we have the Qs, young men feminised by sissy porn, furries and pups who fetishise bestiality, and even adult babies who fetishise infancy are all accepted and protected by the rainbow umbrella that magically transforms all scrutiny into bigotry. But the thing that requires...
Wow, that was a great point. Because anybody that criticises that rainbow is a bigot.
And that's what we're here trying to expose.
That's it, trying to expose. There you go. Sorry, I'm interrupting her.
No.
I feel like I want to apologise to her.
The most scrutiny is the unspecified plus at the end, a placeholder for what's coming next. MAPS, or minor attracted people, a euphemism that is already being used to describe pedophiles who are waiting in the wings for their time to shine.
Yeah.
Because the LGBTQ+ sexual psyop is not about promoting tolerance of diversity. It's about grooming society to accept depravity. And as an L, I renounce all association with it and the LGBs who are accessories to the fact. And I urge you to do the same and join the movement for LGB without the TQ+, because we need to divorce people and we need it stat.
Wow. How how close is she to the truth on all of those points?
Absolutely nailed all of it, John.
Oh, there's just absolutely no doubt about that. No doubt whatsoever.
But then what we're showing now is if you come out and talk about this, it's don't question authority or else.
Oh, good. They can kiss my ass.
Yeah. So we'll go through a few more. I'm not sure she would.
They might agree to that.
The teas might do. Anyway, so we'll go through some more examples from Cheshire Live. So Mandy's also accused of calling these pro-LGBTQ plus whatever letters are after it, organisations of grooming children using hashtags such as hands off our kids. Now, she's shown evidence from Pride, John.
Yeah.
Where there's kink and stuff and things that not very appropriate. And they were aimed at 3-year-olds at one of them, Mini Pride. But these people can't defend the logic, so how come they attack dogs? So they've also lumped in a petition to remove Mandy Clare, which was obviously she was former Labour representative, so they have to throw that in. And they're saying she's breached the code of conduct, and it's got over 1,000 signatures. So not coordinated at all.
1,000? I didn't even know. Have we got 1,000, people that are really, really that much against? I'd like to interview every single one of those people and get down to it.
It probably got sent out around the Labour membership, John, didn't it? Or with one of them emails they all receive. Oh, sign this petition. So, which is ironic because we found the council leader was, in our opinion, also in breach of conduct. But we were told, no, it doesn't matter. It's pick and choose. We don't even
they can do what they want
legally. So yeah,
but we do know that Cheshire West. I mean, I should put up that little snippet that we did about DEI and gay and all the rest of that. So Cheshire West and Chester, they are a little bit gay, aren't they?
Just a tad, mate. Just a tad. So anyway, so they found some people to comment. So they get all these people together, don't they, who are, of course, not connected in the slightest. So we've got a hotel manager who lived in Chester for 8 years, says Mrs. Clare's rhetoric's damaging to the LGBT, whatever that is, community. Not bothered about the physical and mental damage that this ideology is doing to the children, though. This person doesn't mention any of this.
No.
They said it's really upsetting to see because I've had friends who've killed themselves because of people like her making them feel like they're inadequate or not normal. In this year alone,
bullshit.
Wait to this. This gets worse, In this year alone, there have been a number of people beaten up in the area because of rhetoric from people like Mandy Clare, and Brianna Gay was also killed in Cheshire. So they have linked suicides and murders that Mandy had no part of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get it.
Are these people serious? So what they're doing is they're claiming there's apparently been a big rise in suicides among the trans community.
Let's see the evidence of it.
Well, since the Bell decision in the High Court.
Let's see the evidence of it.
So a government review said that data does not support the claim.
Ta-da!
Also, social media reporting goes against guidance on safe reporting. The claims have not met basic standards for statistical evidence. Underlying mental health conditions totally ignored, like depression and anxiety. And suicide in any group is usually the result of multiple risks in combination. Plus, I found stories that have been claiming there's this epidemic. And the most I've found, they gave about 3 examples. 2 of them were because they couldn't get the puberty blockers. And the other one was trans, but that wasn't meant to be the leading factor in the suicide.
Yeah.
So I can't really find any more. So she's blamed for homophobic attacks. So another comment, 2 of my friends were beaten up in homophobic attacks for the last few weeks because rhetoric means people see us as not human beings. Now, this had nothing to do with Mandy. This person seems to have a lot of friends killing themselves and being beaten up. Now, I've known
maybe there might be a connection there. There might be a connection. You've got, this person's got a lot of people killing themselves. Might be the connection that it's something to do with them.
I'm not sure. I think if they're going to come out with all this, they need to show the evidence, because I've known loads of gay people over time, John, and this is rare, this. And it seems like a coincidence, doesn't it, that all this has happened just a matter of days after Mandy moved to reform. But I guess they won't mention the rise in assaults on gay people from the Islamic community because
Jesus,
gosh, no,
go
it's
for
all
that.
Got to be Mandy's fault.
Go for that. I mean, I couldn't get over that those protests in London, gays for Palestine. Jesus Christ!
It's like huh?
Yeah, you go like
even Palestine were like what?
Yeah, Get across to Palestine and let's see what actually happens.
Have you ever seen them protesting around Palestine? Funnily enough, I haven't.
No, I don't
It's not a
see
video
anybody
you see much of.
protesting, saying they're gay in Palestine somehow. But anyway,
So,
go ahead.
should we have a look at some crime stats? Because there was someone else who gave a comment, funnily enough, another hotel manager who probably was not connected in the slightest to all these people, honestly, said he's afraid to walk home now. They're worried about walking home at night on their own in case they're attacked. So I look at some crime stats from Cheshire. I think we've got a screenshot.
Which one do you want? Do you want the police records read transgender?
Yes, please. Yeah.
There you go. So
it's a little small, but I'll read. So out of all the identity protected characteristics, the transgender one's the lowest recorded hate crimes. So there's 62 recorded crimes. So that's just recorded in 2024. That's a range of 0 to 8 a month, an average of 5 over a 12-month period. So they're on the rise. Well, apparently this says there's a 21% decrease compared to the 12 months previous and a 21 decrease from the previous quarter.
Okay.
So they're on the rise because the police data here is contradicting that.
Yeah, got it.
And then they leave out a very important detail. If we can move on to the next screenshot.
Here we go. And
this is the rates of sexual offending. Now, this information's gathered from the census, from prison data, and from the Ministry of Justice Freedom of Information requests.
Is there such a thing as a Ministry of Justice in this country?
It doesn't feel like it, does it? To be honest, when the opposition try and deal with the issues better than the actual government, not really. That was generic yesterday. So we're looking at the rate of sexual offending. So we look at females. So they worked out it's 4 per million. Males 490 per million. And males identifying as women 1,177 per million. So I worked out that's about 2.5 times, is it?
Does that not make the case, the absolute in fact?
Is this Mandy's rhetoric what's making them do this?
Yeah.
Because they haven't blamed her for this, funnily enough. So please, lefties, can you explain how standing up against this makes you the bad person?
They are full of it. I'm telling you.
We're going to look at some. So yeah, have a look at those stats. So we're going to look at some of the irony. So another comment in Cheshire Live by someone who definitely wasn't, connected to all these other people. I think Mandy, is just so misinformed and uneducated. John, these people are ignoring the consequences from this trend.
Yeah.
Apparently she has a narrow mindset and this person has sympathy because she's so uneducated. These patronising idiots, John, are literally describing themselves here.
How can they actually, when you look at those figures, I brought them back now. Look at that. Rates of sexual offending. These are the most up-to-date figures that we've got. Obviously, there will be changes to that, but I reckon that they will just follow the same pattern and that we will see an increase, small percentage increase in the females offending, small percentage increase in the males, and a small percentage increase in the males identifying as women. I mean, come on, let's be honest with you, okay? These people are actually showing themselves up, and if anybody wants to argue with those facts,
this data's a little bit old as well. So if logically, you'd think if there's more people now, more males now identifying as women, that figure might be bigger.
Yeah, I think it will increase. There'll be increases on it because quite simply,
where's this in? Go on.
Simply because it is an actual fact being seen and being identified more and more often. So you will start to see more of it. And you might get some variation on those figures. But the fact is, the matter is that if those are the current figures, then all the lefties and all these, people that are accusing people of being transphobes and all the rest of that stuff, shove it right where the sun doesn't shine. Because there are the facts.
This, John. We could flip this using their logic. So let's take away the males identifying as, and we'll just put all them up with the women. Now, who's the highest rate of offending? It's not men, is it?
No.
It's women.
Yeah.
So let's use their logic and let's start doing these statistics differently then, shall we? And let's not put men who identify as women and just call them as women then.
Yeah.
So now women are the worst. So it's misandry all over the show. Oh my God. Right. So we're nearly there now. So another
great
comment.
logic. I love the way you did
logic.
that.
It's just this is why this is just total nonsense. So another comment in a post by someone who definitely wasn't connected to all these people in coordination said, so Mandy said, still a fair bit of sexualized ideological weirdness present that is effectively being pushed onto children and parents.
Yeah.
Normalized culturally by Cheshire West and Chester Council. So apparently the guy who wrote this article, who we'll come on to in a minute, thinks that is a bad thing for Mandy to say.
Yeah.
So is he therefore pro this ideological weirdness being pushed on children? Because I think Robert White, who put this article together, should come on here and debate Mandy. And here's your chance now to explain how wanting to stop kids being exposed to kink is a bad thing, mate.
Yeah, we can host that. We can host that if he wants, if he's brave enough.
There's another one. So he's picked this one where on her private Facebook account, she included describing LGBT plus blah, blah, blah as rainbow-laced noncery. So yes, Robert, please come on and tell us how men dressed like women, fiddling with their private at Mini Pride, waiting for kids to come and speak to them, isn't weird, mate.
Yeah.
Now's your time to shine, mate. It's time to back up all this now. So the clincher comes at the end, John, and this is what they should have. This is exactly calls to remove Mandy. Classic.
Isn't going to happen.
That's what they do. But we go on to Mandy's response, which is great. So she said, if you are asking if I oppose publicly funded organisations promoting experimental concepts like gender transition, social or medical, and gender ideology, the answer is yes. I regard it as homophobic and as a serious safeguarding risk, as well as a misuse of public funds. The claims printed in the online petition by its author, who does not know me, are fraudulent and potentially incite hatred towards me. They are an attempt, as we're explaining, to limit my freedom of speech. There is nothing I've said online or in any other context that is unlawful or would result in a complaint to the council's monitoring officer being upheld. She doesn't uphold anything.
I wouldn't even trust the council's monitoring officer. Vanessa White? No.
She'd be all over this, trying to find a way to get Mandy for this. But when it was when it was the council leader, and we should go away, shoo.
Yeah, we should just tell Vanessa, say, we've got our eye on you, okay? And anything legally that we find, we'll be coming for you. And don't think that any of your solicitors within the area bother us, because they don't. I promise you.
This is just disgusting. How they can attack someone, probably the most prominent person in this county who fights for the youth and for women. How they can attack her. These people should be in prison. So let's have a look. So we'll finish on the suppression of political opponents. Now, who are they trademarks of, John? Oh, that's right. All the world's past evil regimes.
Yeah.
So while these people call everyone fascists and Nazis, they should have a little look in the mirror, because they're using the same tactics as all these authoritarian leaders in the past, like Mao and Stalin and Mussolini. Yeah, I can brand these names around, John, but I can actually make it make sense.
Yeah.
Can you make it make sense, lefties?
No,
I'd love you to come on and make this make sense, especially the guy who wrote this.
Well, they can't, because their own leader lies continually. Their own leader, Keir Starmer, lies continuously. And, everything that he said, we've proven it before, on podcasts before. And quite simply, they're backing a loser. They know it. Labour are a one-term government. They know it. So they're going to try and do as much damage as they can. And all the rest of these people, who are, going for the mayoralties, different things, short-lived. Just making it clear to you, short-lived. Even Trump is making it a condition of free trade that freedom of expression is implemented in this country. I think.
Did you hear that? Apparently, Rachel Thieves had saved something like 10 billion, but then that's just basically gone now if Trump hits us with the tariffs.
Correct. And 25,000 jobs are going to disappear. They're all dicing. They all talk all this brave stuff when Trump comes along. But I mean, all that, it's all talk. Right? Starmer is a pimple in comparison. It's as simple as that. And I was attacked on X for saying that I wanted to be the 52nd state of America before Canada. turns. You know,
You might be after Greenland, actually, but
that's what I mean.
Before Canada, but after Greenland.
I said, just so that we can get our act together. You know, I mean, if you watch,
if it was temporary, like the that islands where they have a contract for 99 years or something till we sort ourselves out.
Oh, I don't know what's gone on there, but there is something. But anyway, Trump doesn't give a damn because as long as he's got the military base there, that's it. And the military base for America is being paid for by guess who?
Those.
Correct. So he doesn't give a damn. I wonder if that'll count. I wonder if that'll count with Trump towards our contributions to the military.
I doubt it. I think Starmer's getting out of there quick, smart, because Trump's literally got about 7 B-2 bombers on there, loads of refueling tankers for in the air. I think someo's about to get it, mate.
There's B-52.
I think Iran are about to have a little smackdown.
B-52's there, and I think at least... no, there's B-52 bombers there as well. Believe it or not.
B-2s, they're the best ones.
No, they're the best ones. They're the stealth bombers. There's no doubt about it. But there's B-52s there. They're the heavy lifters, okay, where it comes. But the B-2s, they're the stealth bombers. I mean, you know, they are slick. There's no two ways about
nukes,
it.
Mate. They can drop nukes. No wonder Iran's bums are twitching.
Well, China's as well.
Trump's had this suppression for how many years?
Yep.
So I guess, are we going to have to put up with this round here for even longer, are we? Until someone can get rid of them? Because I think their arses are going, mate.
Yep.
As soon as reform start popping up, look, they've literally, they're having a fit.
Yep. They are. And let's not forget those people, you know, in the background there, Great British Pack, you know, with Ben Habib and all the rest of them. They got some good people there. But that's more of a movement rather than a political party. That's a movement.
Yeah.
You know, just like the PAC movement over in the States. But anyway... Okay. Sir, have you got those things out of your system?
Yeah, a little bit. Do you know what? These people are just despicable, mate. The tactics are awful. It doesn't really work anymore. The hit pieces are lame.
Yeah.
But they've been doing it, and I'm sick of it now. They've done it towards the people.
They're desperate.
Bad enough. You try and do a little bit better next time, because that was lame.
Well, just letting you
know.
Stop
Andy. It's just going to drive the spare on to go harder. So,
well, just letting Labour know in Cheshire West and Chester and also all the surrounding areas, we're on to you. You know, our eyes are upon you.
We'll have Robert White on here to have a little debate.
Oh, no, he'll be too chicky. He'll be too chicken to come on. Yeah, he's a chicken.
You couldn't defend all this, could you?
No.
No,
not a way.
Whatever it was called.
I'm absolutely sick of these local democracy reporters. Let's face it, they're all BBC funded. So, you know.
I'm not sure if he is a local democracy reporter, but it didn't.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Let him deny it.
What kind of democracy is this they're reporting on? They're like suppressing your opponents. Get lost.
Yeah,
nice try.
Yeah, nice try. Well, sir. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Okay. And your contribution. Thank you, sir, for your service to democracy. Yes. Let's get into the style. I pledge allegiance. Okay.
Who to, though? Hey, who to?
Who to? Not to the Houthis. They're finished. They're finished.
Will be tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Au revoir. All right, and I have to say that the English are better than the Scottish correspondents.
Without a shadow of a doubt. At least you can understand us.
And I even turned around to the Scottish one and said, "You're so much better than the English."
I had to put the subtitles on me, mate. They couldn't work it out either.
Bye byes.
See you later. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, if anyone else.
Indeed. Ciao for now.